So, welcome to Alighten class number 1. Thank you for being here. This is an excellent opportunity for you to connect with the Great Spirit within you, your connection with everything that is. So, I want to first honor you for showing up today. Good job. You are here for a reason. There's a reason you have come across this video. And I welcome you to follow through to the end. And there are more classes coming. Each one gets more complex and brings to you greater details, and also you get some homework at the end. So first I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Amber Wright. I have been on a spiritual journey now for 24 years. Going on 25 years, so proud of that. That I learned to listen to my intuition at a young age. And it's almost unfair to say that it's only been 25 years, because I know that I have practiced this spiritual journey for lifetimes. So I would like to invite you to think of when you've been touched by moments of, this doesn't make any sense, how can this be, I don't understand, and open to the larger picture of what's around, why you're here where you are, and why you have chosen this journey. So I want to share some of the amazing, powerful spiritual experiences that I have had personally. And while I do this, I'd like you to think about, maybe you've had moments like this. And I know that our rational mind cannot explain, and we let it go and we forget about it sometimes. Like, I don't understand that, it doesn't make any sense. So I welcome you to be open after watching this to noticing when this happens for you, when it comes up. And I welcome you to initiate and call in a spiritual experience. I welcome you to ground your energies and also at the same time know how connected you are through the immersed inner space of what we are. That in this connection you can bring towards you the understanding of connection. Bring to yourself an amazing experience. Be open to it. Say, I allow. I'm open. I allow. I want this. So let's see. I've got to bring us some grounded exercise, because these stories that I want to share with you are very powerful and they are amazing. So it's very special that you hear these stories. So take a deep breath. Please sit properly with your spine straight. And bring your awareness to your feet. Right at the soles of the feet, right in the middle, there is a portal, a mini portal on both sides of your feet. And this is an energy chakra where your soul sends little filaments of light that extend down below your feet, below whatever building you're in and deep into the earth. And how does this happen is because it goes through the space. Most matter is composed of mostly space. And our energy fields tap in between all of the matter, and we are all interconnected in this field of space that is full of energy. So feel very connected with our earth. Earth energy is a heavy energy. It is a red energy, reddish brown. And it's nurturing. It is the mother field. It is holding us. Back to your breath. Take some deep breaths in and out. And let go of everything. Just everything's okay. You can just be. Okay, now I want you to bring your awareness and let yourself be aware that from those earth chakras at the bottom of your feet, all the way up through your legs, into the back of your spine, and up through the top of your head, there is a pillar of light. And this light connects you up with higher realms of spiritual knowledge. Being connected, open to receiving this knowledge is a right that you have just for existing. There's some additional cleansing to be done. And it's important to know that you are purified and that you're walking into a spiritual realm, which is all around us anyways all the time, but we're approaching it with pure thought and pure intention, and that way we're open to being received by our spirits and higher forms of being. We're three-dimensional. We forget about spirit when we come here to earth to be in physical bodies. We don't all forget it all, but we vaguely remember, and in some ways we adopt a way of being skeptical. So this is sage, and my shaman teacher grew this and bundled it. I am smudging my body. That means my aura. And it grabs. There we go. it grabs this energy and brings it out and releases it. There we go. So close your eyes and smell the sage. And this smoke wraps around you, wraps around your outer aura, the middle and the inner, and it cleanses and it picks up all extra stagnant energy and it grabs it and it releases it, pulling it right back into the light realm as it gets purified and breaks down into the basic elements of what it is originally. And this is how we do energy healing to break up pollution as well. There we go. I feel like I need a little bit right here. All right. Just clear that out. And right here. This is cedar, and cedar invites good energy in. So I want to invite all good energy in to work with us today, to be a part of our online class ceremony where we share and access great sources of knowledge and open up with sources of knowledge for you. This class is about you. Alighten is about you and our interconnectedness and bringing more peace to our globe. It's very exciting. So, now that we are all clean and purified, take a deep breath. And I will share a story. So, I'll share my eagle story. I was in the next town over from where I am now, and I was helping out a friend. It was all donation of my time doing hard labor, and I helped clear blackberries, and I don't know if you know them, but here we call them Himalayan blackberries, and they grow really fast, and they take over whole plots of land. And I don't really know if they're from the Himalayas. I'll find that out one day. So they have great berries, though. So I was clearing it out. It was in horse pasture, and it was getting later in the evening. And there's another woman there that was working, and she said, "Hey, could you drive me home? I don't have a way to get home." And she lived in North Seattle. So from where I was, it was about an hour and a half away, and then I had to drive another hour or so back home. So it was very inconvenient, but I said yes because I'm very nice. And so I was driving with her and her daughter. She had a 12-year-old daughter. And so she was asking me, "Why is your favorite number 317? And I said, "Well, it sort of all came together because 3 is a lucky number, and 1 is like the unity, and then 7 is the number of the chakras, and also it's kind of like, it's like a good lucky number too." And so I put them together in a way, 317, and I just really like that. So I put it on all my art, and I shared with her then too that I'll see 317 and it'll trigger in me like, yes, you're on your path. Yes, this is the right direction. I still go by that, really. I see 317, I'm like, oh, look, it's 317. So it brings this sort of joy to me, and I've had moments where I've seen 317, I'll burst out crying because it'll also, like, mirror hits the wall. You're like, ah. I exist, you know. So, um, so I'm telling her about numbers, numerology, and how patterns happen in our life, and that numbers are part of recognizing the pattern. And then I started sharing about power animals and how we have different spirit helpers that are not only symbolic, but they're actually energetically helping us. And I was sharing her about power animals, and I was talking about some of my favorite animals that I feel are helpers to me. And I am driving, so I use my hands. Okay, so I'm driving. She's right here. Her daughter's behind me in the car, and we're on a 2-lane highway. And then over here, there's another 2 lanes. And I say, hey, look up. Speaking of power animals, there's the bald eagle, which is a bird that we really love here in Washington. Bald eagles are great. And then they're the biggest birds, and they're the top of the food chain. They're very powerful. So I'm like, oh, look, there it is right there. And so then I keep blabbering away, talking. And as we drive up closer, the bald eagle's up there circling. And as I get closer, it goes into a dive. And it dives right in front of my car and scrapes its talons on the pavement. Like, right in front of my car. I'm about to hit the darn thing. But it's, they're so smart. It timed it just right. And there's a car next to me, too. It just swooped right on up afterwards. And if you want a message from one of your spirit power animals, I got that message. And I was like, holy cow. We were all like, did that just happen? That was so amazing. And from that experience, I decided that I was going to go to Alaska. So when I was younger, I was influenced by a video about some of the natural places on Earth, some of the wild, beautiful places, and one of them was about Alaska. And I said, I always want to go to Alaska. So I I got a plane ticket after that, and I was like a few weeks out. So I went to Alaska from 310 to 317 in 2005. And I went to Eagle River, Alaska. So it's just north of Anchorage. I stayed I stayed the first night in Anchorage, and then I went in a hostel in room 317. And then in the morning, I got on the bus, and um, I remember I went past the stop that I was like, oh, that's where I want to go. And I went on the bridge across the river and then up, and then I walked an extremely long ways, and then I walked along the river. There's no trail. And I'm like, I need to go up there and camp out and do a nature retreat, meditation retreat. And I have my hiking backpack, all my supplies that I need, my sleeping bag, my tent, food, rope, because I have to hang my food up because there's bears, and my water filter, extra clothes, and I have this outfit on that I made specifically for cold weather because I used to sew back then. And but there's no trail. So I walk in this housing development, and then there's snow. The snow comes up to my thighs. It is so thick. So I walk through this snow, and then it gets thinner. I think it was like from the end of the road. It was a while though, but and then I walk through snow, and then I find some sort of an animal trail alongside of the river, and I walk along that for a little ways. And I remember I made it to the river, and I took a break, and it was early spring, and it's still cold. in Alaska. I was lucky that it was sunny and actually like 34 degrees. It was warm for there, so that means a little bit above Celsius. And I forgot to mention, so when I got off the bus and I was walking towards the river, there were bald eagles circling above the river. And then when I was walking up the trail, they were pretty much above me. So I had a snack, and then I hiked more up the river, and then followed up the hill a little bit, following my intuition. The whole ways, I'm following my intuition. Like, this is this inner compass of desire that's, I kind of want to go this way. It's a pull. And it's not only a pull of where I want to go now, it's the pull of my future self saying, come this way. And that's really part of what I've been following for a while, is to listen to what's the future telling me. I write poetry sometimes, and I feel like the words are flowing through me from some source. And I wouldn't say that I'm channeling it from like my spirit guide right next to me, whispering in my ear, telling me a poem. It's more like I'm reciting it from the future, telling me what it is. So if that's not trippy to think about, I don't know what is. Anyways, back to the story. So I find the side of the hill. It's starting to get later in the evening. I set up my tent. I'm by a creek because I was kind of like going up the Eagle River Creek, and then I found an offshoot creek, and that's a smaller creek, so I knew it was more fresh and from the side of the hill type of. So I had fresh water. I hung up my food, and I sat in meditation for 3 days. And on the at the end, well, I was there for 4 days, 3 nights. At the end of the third night, my feet got cold and wet, and I was like, I'm not gonna be cold and wet out in the woods. Let's go back to the city. So I want to share a little bit about what it means to do a meditation retreat and to sit in meditation. For me, going to a sacred site, which I found there out in the woods in Alaska, it meant coming closer to myself. It meant getting away from everybody and everything. And I didn't tell anybody but two people that I was going to Alaska and where I was going. So it was really a secluded thing. I didn't tell many people because when we think about someone, we're actually sending our energy to them inadvertently. So I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want their thought energy intercepting with my process of calm and inner peace. So, I have had very nice dreams on these meditation retreats too. I've done 4 now, and it involves sitting a lot. I'll sit most of the day on a pillow in a very comfortable position. I wiggle a little bit, focusing on the breath. And when the spine is in alignment like that, and you're sitting cross-legged with your spine propped up a little bit, so your knees are like level with your hips and not like that. So knees level or slightly lower. It Your body is in the shape of sacred geometry, and with your arms on your knees, it creates a energetic flow where your mind can go to, it's called samadhi. It's the state of meditation mind. And we, it's not the same laying down. With great practice, you can bring yourself to the meditation mind in other positions, but I highly recommend to practice sitting in the cross-legged on the floor, on, on a bed propped up on a pillow. Make sure you're comfortable, and then you can relax and you can really let your mind go. And this is how you get access to that knowledge that is available and ready for you. Okay, so I would like to invite you to join me on a journey. Now, I have a drum right here. I'm gonna play. So I'd like you to before I go on, sitting in meditation is good to do, very good to do. Getting in samadhi. Doing a journey is a little different. The drum or the rattle will bring your brainwaves to, it's sort of like, I call it the in-between state. And you can basically use your imagination to astral travel and to go somewhere different with your imagination. Your body's really relaxed, and I will guide you. I will give instructions on what to imagine. With this, we will have an experience, and I will open a space, and I will let your imagination do what it does. Let you open up and let you receive. And then I will bring us back, ground it out. And then I will give you some instructions for how to get onto video number 2, how a homework, and ways that you can open up in your life. So are you ready? Okay. Just like before, take a deep breath and let it out. Let out all things that you're thinking about, all of your opinions, all of your beliefs about what is and what isn't, what should and what shouldn't. Just let it go. Let it go. Take a deep breath in. Okay. Let it out. One more deep breath in. And let it out. Okay. Just like in the beginning, think of the energy field, bottom of your feet. How you're connected to the earth and held by the earth and held by this heavy physical energy that's so strong and so powerful. Okay. Now close your eyes. And I want you to lift. You feel yourself lift right out of your body. You're floating in the air right outside your body, and turn around, look at yourself sitting there so peaceful and so relaxed. Know that everything's okay. You are protected. You are in a safe place. And trust. Trust yourself and trust in this process. And lift up. Allow yourself to go up through the building you're in. And when you're up above, look around. Look around at the city around you, or the woods. Take in your surroundings. Now I want you to find a creek or a river that's nearby, and I want you to follow it upstream. Follow this stream up into the hills and into the mountains. Okay, beautiful. You're up in the mountains and the stream is smaller. There's beautiful jagged rocks with lichen growing. Take in your surroundings. There's moss on the side of the hill, and the trees are smaller. And there's an open field of grass. And in this field, there's a stone circle. You come towards the circle, and in it, there's a place for a fire. And look north, there's a white stone. Look east, there's a green stone. South, there's a red stone, and in the west, there's a black stone. In between these stones are places for you to sit. I want you to find a place to sit. And pay attention to what direction you are drawn towards. Make note of this. You will remember this later. Now I want you to hold your hands out like you are open. I want you to be open to receive. Because Spirit wants to bring you something. And I want you to feel the presence. I want you to pay attention to what it feels like. Is this a guide? Is this an angel? Is this an ancestor? Or a power animal? I want you to feel with your inner eye who it is and see them and pay attention to what they look like and what they feel like. Okay, with your arms outstretched, your helper spirit puts something in your hands. I want you to look down and see what it is. Remember it. And in your other hand, they give you fire. And I want you to put the fire, I want you to put this fire in the fire pit and light the inner circle fire. And feel those flames bring you heat. Feel those flames light up. This is your sacred space. give it back to Spirit. And know that Spirit's always with you, and so is this gift. Okay. Now I want you to lift up and shake it off. Shake yourself like a dog shakes water off of it, or a duck shakes water off of its feathers. Just shake it all off and let it go. Okay. Now I want you to go over towards the creek and lay flat with your back facing the ground and slowly go down into the creek and let the water flow through your body. Let the water purify you and make you clean. It purifies your energy. This pure water goes between the space of your cells and purifies the energetic connections of your physical body as you are here in spirit being purified. Beautiful. Now I want you to rise up and open your arms up again. And your spirit helper brings a very soft towel and dries you off. All the way from your head, around your front, around your back, around your arms, your torso, your belly, your behind, your legs, and all the way into your feet. You are all the way dried and purified. Now put your hands together and say thank you. Say thank you to Spirit for helping you on your journey. And rise up and look at that creek and follow that creek back down the hill all the way towards your home. Watch the surroundings as you go by. Now you are right above your home. You're right above your body. You come down through the roof. And you're looking at yourself now. How peaceful you are and how grounded you are and how beautiful you are as well. Now you're right in front of your body and turn around and sit back into your body. Okay, now wiggle your toes, wiggle your feet, and slowly, be comfortable, take some deep breaths. Okay, open your eyes. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for joining me on a sacred, astral, sacred journey. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so homework. You got some stuff to do. All right. So, walking in the spiritual path means that you get to take on more responsibilities, going deeper within yourself opens you, and peeling off layers of your perceived reality so that you can open to the inner truth of what's real and what's true. This is knowledge that you gain from within you, from being true to who you are and true to that inner perception of how you want to be, how you want to live, how you want to share yourself and exist, and how you want to receive knowledge from spirit as well. And these are things that are intuitive by nature. So please, I welcome you to open up to what comes up. When things come up, I want you to embrace it. The good and the uncomfortable. To welcome with open arms. Whatever comes up is your energy. Whatever is in your field, you've accepted already. You've already said yes to. So part of walking a spiritual path means taking the responsibilities of the actions that you've taken in the past, the present, and that you will take in the future. It's all one. And whatever is in your reality already, you have said yes to, and that you have allowed. On our next video, I'd like to talk about protection. It's so important. And I'll give you a brief right now before I let you go, because it's actually really simple. It's about trust. I trust that what is in my field, what is in my life, are things that I've allowed, and I trust that I have made appropriate choices for myself and for the past and for the future. It's all one timeline anyways. So your homework is to take this next week and open to allowing a spiritual experience. I invite you to be ready to pay attention, because I need you to hold enough awareness to be able to absorb a spiritual experience. I also challenge you to sit in meditation at some point throughout the day for 10 minutes. And I thank you for coming. I thank you for being here. And let's see, I think let's rattle. Yay! You made it through course number 1 of Alighten. Many blessings to you on your journey and throughout your day.